Hey guys, it's Ryan, Tokyo Fun Hunter, coming at you from Tokyo, Japan. This might be a little bit different look than what you're used to if you've seen my channel before. Basically, since the 6+ years I've been here in Japan, I've done several different jobs, from river rafting, acting, bartending to kind of the crazy ones, recruiting, working in Japanese companies, English teaching, of course, English translation, entertainment, and also a few of my own businesses as well, and making money on the sides and kind of accumulating that. And kind of wanted to touch a little bit about maybe some things you're not familiar with about business in Japan. And today I wanted to focus on the introduction. So how are you supposed to do that? This is very important if you're doing a job interview, if you're meeting Japanese clients. Say you're a business from America, first time meeting Japanese businessmen. What would you do? How could you stand out and kind of show appreciation for the culture, as well as maybe a few points of interaction and what to talk about, how to present yourself. So I wanted to touch a little bit about that. I do meetings daily with clients and candidates and a few other companies all around, all around Japan, and international companies as well. So I wanted to teach a little bit. This isn't going to be like a how-to type thing as well. This is going to be a little bit to stand out. This is really good if you're doing a job interview, if you want to work in Japan. This is very good if maybe it's your first time doing a meeting with Japanese businessmen. And how should you present yourself? So I want to do something that's a little bit different than probably what you're going to see in other videos. So I'm going to talk about a few things that you might not have heard on the bowing, the introduction, how you enter the room, and so forth. So let's start with, say, like a job interview. So you're going to do a job interview or a Japanese business meeting. How do you do it the right way? How do you do it so you present yourself the right way? How do you do it so you show the appreciation for the culture? First thing first is, of course, self-grooming. Okay, you got to make yourself self-grooming. Now I know I have a beard in this video as I'm making it, but basically you want to make sure that it is groomed, it is presentable. Haircut short, nothing, you don't have any dandruff or anything like that. Got no markings on your shirt. Everything should be pressed, neat, nice and neat. Japanese are all about the presentation of their company, the branding, and of course about personal packaging. Your self-presentation is a very key thing. It only takes one bad first-time interview, and first impressions are very important. It only takes one bad first impression, and then it takes 7 times to counteract that. So make sure that your first impression is a good impression. So first thing is, when you first enter a room, say you're having a meeting, you want to make sure, in Japanese culture, of course, it's always customary to hold the door open for the other person. I mean, this might sound obvious, but make sure that you're always holding the door open for your guests. It's always about kind of status there. And you want to make sure that they feel that their status is higher than your status. Now, this goes with everything. This goes with the bow. This goes with the presentation. This goes on who sits down first. This goes with who speaks first. Okay? So I'll try to demonstrate. I'm in my apartment right now, and I hope this is okay. So, for example, say if I walk in, I would first, of course, do the welcome. Hi, very nice to meet you. Very nice to welcome. In Japanese business nowadays, it is customary, despite what you might hear, it is good to bow, and it is good to shake hands too, especially if you're a foreigner. This is of course, in Japanese companies, if you're pure Japanese, they expect just the bow. But if you're a Westerner coming into Japan, they do expect the handshake. And this is what I would recommend. I would say, open the door, be very welcoming. When you enter the room, smile on your face. Okay? This is very important. How you enter the room is very, very key. And when you enter, you shouldn't be looking tired. You shouldn't be looking stern. You should be with a big smile on your face. Hi, it's very nice to meet you. Or, hajimemashite, Ryan desu, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Okay? When you first walk in, you go ahead and shake hands. Very nice to meet you. This is very key. This is the art of the business card. Everybody in Japan has business cards. They always keep it in their wallet. And it's astounding to me on some people that they actually do spend hundreds of dollars on just what the card case looks like. This is very key. So I know this is going to be tough with the camera, but what you're supposed to do is you unveil your card case, pull it out, okay? And in Western societies, we always hand it out like this, very slick, okay? In Japanese companies, this is not what you do. What you do is you take the ends of the card, okay? Take the ends of the card. You can do it this way or this way. I think it's like you do it the thumb way. With the card, both thumbs on the card, and hand it to them as if with your name at the top in front of them, presenting yourself. And as you do that, make sure to bow. So for example, if I was going to present myself to somebody else, I would definitely have the card in front of me, presenting it to the person, and bowing as I do, and saying, very nice to meet you, or in Japanese, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Okay? Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Bow, and at the same time, you're going to take theirs. You're going to take their card. So as you're bowing forward with your card, you're going to take your card. Okay? Very, very key. How you do it, I'll use another card. Somebody I met yesterday. Not that one. Something so you can show the difference. Okay? So for example, I know this is tough with one person. As I bow and give them my card, I take the card with my other hand. So first I start off with 2 thumbs. I take the other card. Now here's the key. When you're taking their card, you take it away from them underneath your card. So for example, a person's in front of me and he's giving it to me and I'm giving mine to him. I take it, I make sure that it goes underneath my card and bow again. So, yoroshiku onegai shimasu, take the card, bow again. Okay? Very key that you keep it underneath. This shows kind of like it's a small gesture that, hey, your status is higher than my status. Very, very key, and actually going to give you some major bonus points in their mindset. Once you take the card, make sure that you don't just stuff it in your card case. Don't just like, oh, cool. Make sure, this is very typical in Japan, is to take an extra second or two, take a look at it, okay? Take the time, take a deep breath, look at the name, look at their status, look at their title, look at the company, a little bit, and kind of do that, thank you very much, arigatou gozaimasu, slowing it down if you don't know Japanese, arigatou gozaimasu, arigatou gozaimasu, okay? Now, as you sit down for your meeting, here's another key point. You have your card case, or if you don't have one, that's okay. I would recommend having even just a fake one. You don't want to be stuffing it in your wallet. You don't want to be stuffing it in your pocket. What you do is I want you to put the card on top of the case. Card on top of the case, okay? And you're going to set the case down in front of you. Now, if you have writing materials, say you have a notepad, and then you have this at the top. You can have it at the top, or you can have it in the left-hand corner, like your desk, okay? You have the key card, you have the, by the way, business card in Japanese is called Meishi. Meishi, okay? M-E-I-S-H-I, Meishi. Make sure that you put it down on the desk in front of you, okay? If there's multiple people, you want to make sure, you can see it with the camera, that you have it, say this is my desk, you have it so that the guy who's at the top, say like a president, is at the top with the other cards below. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3 on your desk. So this is your desk. You put sorry, camera. You put it here, and here down on your desk. Each one below the other one in terms of their status in the company. Okay, this is going to give you a major edge and kind of dealing with Japanese clients, Japanese companies, or a job interview if you want to come to Japan. Okay? Then you do your presentation, okay? Make sure that your body language is up and erect. Imagine like a tight cord is pulling you up, okay? You always want to be standing erect. Never be slouching. You're not, I've seen so many people, it's amazing to me on how many people lean so far forward or just like lean like this. It's all about posture. Especially when you're dealing with Japanese clients, you're showing them interest. Keep your body posturized. It's okay to be slightly back as you're just normally talking. And then when somebody else talking, move slightly forward. Don't have your arms on the table. Don't be slouching either forwards or backwards. Head up. I would say that if you're talking, I would lean back over ever so slightly And if they're talking, I would lean forward, as showing genuine concern and interest in what the other person is saying. It's going to show a lot of respect. Okay. And what else? So that's very thing. With body language, I would say use the mirroring technique. If whatever the person's else doing, how they're sitting, you can mirror that. Okay, but always be slightly elevating their status. It's all about the micro movements when it comes to that. Okay, speak clear, speak concise. With Japanese companies, they understand that if you don't speak Japanese, there's certain grammar that goes with kind of the Japanese business language. There's the usual, but there's one, I'm sure if you're Japanese people, you've heard of this, keigo. Keigo is business Japanese. It basically is an honorific that shows the other person has more value. In current culture, it's not as necessary. If you're a Japanese person talking to a Japanese person who's a president, yeah, it's a big deal. If you're a foreigner person coming in, it's not so big a deal. Just you trying to use some Japanese is considered good, is considered humble. And usually if it's an international meeting, usually the Japanese person already speaks English or they're going to have a translator. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you know a little bit, definitely look up some keigo online. The right ways to say please, thank you, hello. Very good way to do so. Skip to the end of the meeting, okay? The end of the meeting, any last questions, anything I can help you with, always be concerned with the other person's well-being, making them feel as comfortable as possible, okay? At the end of the meeting, you definitely bow, okay? You definitely say at the end of the meeting, thank you. This is the point. So you're bowing at the beginning, you're bowing when you're handing the card. Oh, I forgot to mention. Make sure that they sit down first. They sit down first, okay? And it's very important that in the order on people sit around, that you are sitting closest to the door and they're sitting on the opposite side of the table. So facing the doorway. This goes back to ancient times when you'd be able to see somebody going to attack you and the person close to the door was in definite danger. That's what I heard from my superiors. I'm not sure about it, but that's what they say. Where if you're the one who's trying to make them feel more welcome, say this is a client for you, you want to make sure you are standing next to the door or sitting closest to the door, okay? And making sure the other person sits on the other back so they can see the doorway, okay? At the end of the meeting, you bow again, okay? So for example, I'm bowing when I'm entering, I'm bowing when